Dear students, we have already completed three colligative properties. Number one, relative lowering of vapor pressure. Number two, elevation of boiling point. Number three, depression in freezing point. And the fourth one is osmotic pressure. So this is one of the colligative properties. This will depend only on number of particles present in the solution. This will not depend on chemical nature of solute. So before studying the osmotic pressure, we have to know what is osmosis. So osmosis is a process of moving a solvent from lower concentration region to higher concentration region. So this movement is generally called as osmosis. You take a compartment, so this is first compartment. We have only pure solvent. For example, we may take water molecule. So in the container, first compartment is having solvent, example water. Take second compartment in the container. This is a solution, example sodium chloride solution. The solute is sodium chloride salt and the solvent is water. So we have taken sodium chloride solution. So first compartment has only solvent, second compartment has sodium chloride solution, and these two compartments are separated by a semi-permeable membrane. We already studied in biology. So this semi-permeable membrane will have the pores. Molecules can pass through the pores of semi-permeable membrane. The word semi-permeable indicates all the molecules cannot pass through it. Only certain molecules can pass through the membrane. So the molecules with a particular size can pass through the membrane. So this is a semi-permeable membrane. So based on the size of the pore, a particular molecule can pass through the membrane. So we have taken a container having two compartments. First one is having pure solvent, water. Second compartment has sodium chloride solution. And the level of both the liquids should be equal. Okay, the level is equal. But think about the concentration. When you observe the particles, you can easily identify the concentration. So much dots are in the second compartment, which represents this is the solution with a higher concentration, and this is the solvent with very low concentration. Okay. So when we have this type of arrangement, two compartments separated by a semi-permeable membrane, the membrane is allowing the molecules to pass through it. In this case, water molecule can pass through. The pores present in the membrane will allow only solvent molecule water. It will not allow the sodium chloride particles. Okay, so that we have taken a selective semi-permeable membrane. So this is a spontaneous process by which a solvent molecule will move from lower concentration region to higher concentration region. The process is called osmosis. Okay, so spontaneous process by which the solvent molecule will pass from a solution of lower concentration to the solution of higher concentration is called osmosis. The word is derived from Greek language. In Greek, there is a word osmos. Osmos means to push. Okay. And as I told, the membrane is highly selective in nature. Based on the solvent as well as a solution, we have to take a particular membrane. So each membrane is having pores with a particular size. All the molecules cannot pass through it. Certain molecules alone can pass through it. This is highly selective. Okay. So the solvent molecule is moving from left hand side to right hand side, first compartment to second compartment, and from this side to this side sodium chloride cannot pass through. The membrane will not allow sodium chloride from second compartment to third compartment. So what is the effect of this osmosis? The movement of solvent from one compartment to another compartment is making a change in the volume as well as pressure. We have taken equal level of the liquids or solutions. Due to the movement of solvent molecule from one compartment into another compartment, a volume will be reduced in one side. This side volume is reduced, and in the second compartment volume increases. If volume is increased in this side, means there will be a pressure difference. In both the compartments, pressure will not be equal. So yeah, difference in the pressure is created due to the process called osmosis. Okay. So if the volume is equal, if there is a equal pressure, means equilibrium will exist. So due to the movement of solvent, because of osmosis, volume is increased in the second compartment, there is a pressure difference, so equilibrium is disturbed. So to attain the equilibrium, we have to apply pressure on this side. So this side we are applying more pressure to attain the equilibrium. So because of the pressure difference, the solvent molecule is again moving into the first compartment. So to attain the equilibrium, we are applying the pressure. It's called the osmotic pressure. Okay. So you know what is osmosis and osmotic pressure. Once equilibrium is attained, the rate of movement in both sides will be equal. At equilibrium, rate of forward and reverse process same. The same principle, the rate of movement of solvent from first compartment to second compartment and the second compartment to first compartment will be equal at equilibrium condition. Okay. So osmotic pressure is nothing but the pressure applied to the solution to stop osmosis. Okay. The movement of solvent from one region to another region has to be stopped to attain equilibrium. There should be equal volume and pressure. So osmosis will be stopped so that we are applying the pressure. It is called osmotic pressure. Okay, the scientists Van 't Hoff found that osmotic pressure is directly proportional to the concentration of the solution and the temperature. So this is a symbol for osmotic pressure. So this is proportional to the concentration of solution and the temperature. Pi is the osmotic pressure, C is the concentration of solute in solution, temperature is expressed in terms of Kelvin. To remove the proportionality, we introduce a constant which is nothing but gas constant. So the value of gas constant is 8.314 in 10 power minus 2. Then with the help of colligative property, osmotic pressure, how can we calculate molar mass? So in the previous cases, we calculated molar mass from the colligative properties: elevation of boiling point, depression in freezing point, and the relative lowering of vapor pressure. From these three colligative properties, we have calculated molar mass of or molecular mass of solute. The same way, from the osmotic pressure, how can we calculate molar mass of solute? And in the chemical equilibrium lesson, we already studied concentration of a solution is nothing but number of moles divided by total volume of the solution. N is a symbol of number of moles. V is the total volume of solution in liter. Okay. So we may substitute N by V in this equation. So in equation 1, we substitute C value as N by V or T. Okay, this is equation number 2. What is the formula for calculating number of moles? Given mass divided by molar mass, isn't it? Usually component A means solvent, component B means solute. So number of moles of solute means WB divided by MB. So substitute this value in equation number 2. Osmotic pressure pi is equal to WB RT divided by MBV. This is equation number 3. And we need the formula to calculate molar mass of solute. So molar mass of solute MB is equal to weight of solute, gas constant, temperature divided by osmotic pressure and volume. So this is the formula to calculate molar mass of solute. So 4 colligative properties we have completed. With the help of colligative properties, we may find molar mass of a solute. Then problem number 6. The given data, osmotic pressure is 0.3 bar. Weight of solute is 1.5 gram. Gas constant value 8.314 into 10 power minus 2. Temperature 400 Kelvin. Calculate molar mass of solute. The formula is WB RT divided by pi V. So weight of solute 1.5, gas constant value 8.314 into 10 power minus 2, temperature 400 Kelvin divided by osmotic pressure 0.3, volume of solution is 1.5 liter. So 1.5. The molar mass of solute is 110.85 gram per mole. Okay. Then what is the significance of osmotic pressure? The osmotic pressure value is a larger one, comparing the depression in freezing point as well as elevation of boiling point. The osmotic pressure value is a larger one, so it can be calculated easily. We take water. For the water, elevation of boiling point value delta TB is equal to 0.512 degrees Celsius. For the water, depression in freezing point value 1.86 degrees Celsius. So comparing these two, osmotic pressure for this water will be a larger one. Then even when you take very dilute solutions, the value, pi value will be a larger value. Next important one mark. To find the molar mass of biomolecules at room temperature, the osmotic pressure is highly useful. Okay. So when you take biomolecules like carbohydrates, proteins, lipids and so on, they are highly unstable at higher temperatures. Alright. So if we are affected by fever, the biological reactions are disturbed in the human body because of increase of temperature. So biomolecules are highly unstable at higher temperatures. So at room temperature, molar mass of solute, that means molar mass of biomolecules, can be calculated using the osmotic pressure. So these are all the significances of osmotic pressure. Next one, what is isotonic solution? So consider two solutions. The two solutions with the same osmotic pressure at a given temperature is called isotonic solution. This is the definition. Two solutions having same osmotic pressure at a given temperature. This is called a isotonic solution. So at this condition, from one solution into another solution, solvent molecule will not flow. The flow of a solvent from one solution into other solution is not possible, or else we may say rate of forward and reverse movement will be same. Compartment 1 to 2 as well as 2 to 1, the movement will be same. Like that we may explain. The net flow of solvent is not possible. Then important one more, osmotic pressure of blood is 7. Okay. For the blood cell, osmotic pressure is 7 atmosphere at 37 degrees Celsius, normal body temperature, 36.9 degrees Celsius. So when we have some injections, intravenous injections, its osmotic pressure should also be this one. When we take intravenous injections, it should be isotonic with blood. The solution which is injected should have same osmotic pressure like blood. Okay, otherwise there will be some defects in the human body. So we may take a solution with a low concentration or a higher concentration. In injections, the fluid may have low concentration. Low concentration means the solution is called a hypotonic. The intravenous injections with a dilute concentration is called a hypotonic solutions. So because of this type of fluids, the solvent molecule will flow from outside to inside of the cell. Okay. So what is the flow of solvent molecule? Outside to inside of the cells, solvent molecule. Because of this, there will be bursting of cells. Okay. So always we have to take intravenous fluids which should be isotonic with the blood. If low concentration means the solution is hypotonic, in that case a solvent will flow from outside to inside of the cells. The process is called a hemolysis. Okay, this movement is called a hemolysis, and this movement is to normalize the osmotic pressure outside of the cell and inside of the cell. To normalize the osmotic pressure, there is a movement of solvent. This is called a hemolysis. It leads to dangerous condition called bursting of cells, and the concentration may be a higher one. The injection fluids may have higher concentrations, so the solution is called a hypertonic solution. Hypertonic solution, and in this case solvent will flow from inside of the cell to outside. To normalize the osmotic pressure, there is a flow of solvent from inside to outside, and this is making a cell to die or shrink. Okay, so these are all making harmful effects in the human body. Next concept, reverse osmosis. So this is the word often we hear. This is not new to us. Reverse osmosis, especially in purification of water, we often use the word reverse osmosis. So we have RO machines, reverse osmosis machines in home. This is working based on this principle. Okay, the movement of a solvent against the direction of osmosis is called a reverse osmosis. If a solvent move from first compartment to second compartment, means this is osmosis. From second to first compartment, we are making the solvent to flow. This is called a reverse osmosis. Okay. The osmosis is reversed by applying more pressure. This is called a reverse osmosis. You may take U-shaped glass tube. In the left hand side, we may have water. We have pure solvent. In the second compartment, right side compartment, we have solution. Okay. So concentration is lesser here, concentration is more in the right hand side, and this is semi-permeable membrane. Solvent will flow from solution of lower concentration to higher concentration spontaneously. We are not inducing it. Spontaneously the solvent is moving. So this is the direction of movement of solvent. This is called osmosis. To stop the osmosis, we apply the pressure. Again, the solvent will move from this direction to this direction. So this is called the reverse osmosis. So that we apply pressure. external pressure is applied. Now the solvent is moving from solution side to solvent side. This is called the reverse osmosis process. What are the uses of reverse osmosis? First one, desalination of seawater. This side, if you have seawater, sodium chloride cannot pass through the semi-permeable membrane. Water molecule can alone pass through this membrane. So when we apply more external pressure, all the water molecules will move to this side, solvent side, and this will have only impurities like sodium chloride. So for the purification of seawater as well as drinking water, we apply reverse osmosis. As we discussed, the semi-permeable membrane is a highly selective in nature. So based on the nature of solution, we have to select semi-permeable membrane. The common membranes are cellulose acetate as well as polyamide. These two will be used as membranes. Based on the nature of solution, you may decide semi-permeable membrane. So with this 4 colligative properties we have completed. Tomorrow we will discuss about abnormal molar mass and so on. Thank you.